A colossal dragon loomed over Persea, moments away from launching its attack. But Persea stood her ground, readying her bow and releasing a volley of spiritual energy to distract the beast, just enough to make her escape. However, her attacks had no effect. The dragon unleashed a deafening sonic roar that shattered the air, then lashed out its grotesque tongue, wrapping it around Persea and dragging her toward its massive jaws. She was seconds away from being devoured. But suddenly, an explosion rocked the creature's tongue, freeing Persea. Flames blazed through the air. It was Hyce. He'd arrived just in time, and he wasn't happy. He scolded Persea for not listening to him earlier and told her to stay back. Then he drew his gun and opened fire. But even his bullets couldn't pierce the dragon's hide. With no other option, Hyce pulled out his most powerful weapon, the very one he once used to slay the black dragon. With a single devastating shot, Hyce took the beast down. Persea stood in awe, shocked that Hyce could kill a dragon so effortlessly. Blushing, she asked why he had come for her. Hyce simply replied, "Let's go. It's starting to smell." But before they could leave, something strange caught their eye. The field around them was glowing. They had found it, eternal moongrass, a rare and powerful herb. However, it was dying, poisoned by the dragon's blood. Persea was devastated, but Hyce spotted one last surviving stalk. Persea sprinted over, carefully placing the moongrass in a jar to preserve it. Then, unexpectedly, she handed it to Hyce. "You're the one who brought down that dragon. You deserve this," she said. "I'll find more somewhere else." That act completed Hyce's original request. As they reached the mountain path's entrance, a group of elves appeared, searching for Persea. Among them was Adra, who scolded Persea for leaving without notice. Then Adra saw Hyce and recognized him. "You must be the S-rank adventurer, Hyce," she said. "You're the one who brought Persea here." She revealed her identity as the younger sister of Queen Alcera, the ruler of the forest kingdom of Igdora. Persea, it turned out, wasn't just any elf. She was royalty. Adra demanded to know whether she had found the eternal moongrass. But Persea remained silent. Adra pressed again, prompting Persea to shout, "So you wanted me to let my sister die instead?" Adra quickly apologized. "It's not what I meant. It's just, Alcera's fate may already be sealed." She then asked Persea to return home, reminding her they had to discuss the terms of her marriage. Persea hesitated, and in that moment, Hyce quietly walked away. Persea was stunned. Later, we see her beside her sister's bedside, crying, convinced she'd failed. But Alcera smiled gently. "It's all right. This is my destiny," she said, asking Persea to tell her about her travels across the western and central lands. As they spoke, Persea handed her sister the souvenirs she'd collected on her journey. Then, to her shock, she noticed something. The eternal moongrass. The very same one she had given to Hyce. Persea burst into tears. Somehow, Hyce had returned it to her. A few days later, we catch up with Hyce and his companion, Geist. Geist couldn't believe it. Hyce had failed a royal request and turned down a princess. "What are you going to do now?" Geist asked. Hyce shrugged. "Same old stuff. Except requests, clear dungeons." Geist had one more job for him. A new dungeon had been discovered, and it needed to be investigated. Just as Hyce was about to leave, someone called out his name. It was Persea. She smiled warmly and said, "I managed to make the cure. My sister has recovered and resumed her royal duties. I owe you. Big time." As a reward for saving the queen, Persea had been granted freedom to travel however she wished. Now, she wanted to repay Hyce for everything. "I'm not asking to be teammates or anything," she said, "but I'd gladly be your buddy, if you'd let me." But Hyce turned and walked away without a word. Persea simply smiled and called out, "Then at least have a meal with me sometime." A few days later, the story shifts again. We see Sasha and her not-so-elite party, Loser Team, gearing up for their next royal quest.